My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. At first, I thought it was just another group chat blowing up, but when I looked down, my heart froze. 32 missed calls. 17 unread messages. All from my brother, his fiancée, and our mother. The last message I saw made my stomach twist into knots. You need to come home. Everyone's talking about it. What were you thinking? I was lying in a hammock on the balcony of my ocean view villa in Maui, sipping pineapple juice and watching the sun melt into the horizon. The waves crashed softly below, like they were clapping for my peace. But as those messages kept coming in, I realized something had happened. Something big. And it all started because my brother said I didn't deserve to be at his engagement party. Yeah, that's where everything went wrong. But before I tell you how my phone started blowing up while I was in Hawaii, you need to understand one thing. I didn't plan revenge. Not at first. I just wanted to disappear, to take a breath, to stop feeling like the unwanted sister in my own family. It all began 3 weeks earlier, in the living room of our mom's house, where the air always smelled like vanilla candles and old secrets. I'd been saving for months, taking extra shifts at the cafe, tutoring kids in math, skipping out on my usual Friday dinners just to afford a decent dress. My brother Jake was finally getting engaged to his college sweetheart, Amanda, and I wanted to show up looking proud and supportive, even though he and I hadn't been close in years. We used to be best friends. He was my protector, my hero. But something changed after Dad died. Jake became distant, sharp with his words, like every sentence was a knife waiting to land somewhere it shouldn't. When the invitation came in the mail, Mom called right away. "Oh, honey, Jake wants to talk to you about the party," she said in that soft, nervous tone she used when she knew bad news was coming. "What kind of talk?" I asked, already uneasy. "Just be kind, okay?" That's never a good sign. So I drove over to Jake's new house, a spotless two-story in the suburbs with a white porch and perfect grass. The kind of place that screamed, "I made it and you didn't." He opened the door wearing a polo shirt and that fake smile I'd learned to recognize over the years. Amanda was sitting on the couch, looking down at her phone, her engagement ring glinting like it had its own spotlight. "Hey, sis," Jake said, motioning for me to sit. "Listen, we need to talk about the party." I forced a smile. "Sure. What about it?" He exchanged a look with Amanda, and that's when I knew something was off. Jake cleared his throat. "So, the guest list's really tight. We're keeping it small, just close friends, co-workers, and family who've been really supportive lately." I laughed, thinking it was a joke. I am family, Jake." He didn't laugh back. Amanda looked up, her voice careful. "Jake, just means it's going to be more formal. You know, certain people might not fit the vibe." "The vibe?" I repeated, my smile fading. "What vibe am I not fitting?" Jake sighed, rubbing his forehead like I was giving him a headache. "You know what I mean, Em. It's just that lately you've been kind of all over the place. You're always working random jobs, moving apartments, Amanda, and I just want to keep things drama-free. It's our day." My chest tightened. "Are you saying I'm not invited?" "I'm saying," he said slowly, like explaining something to a child, "you can sit this one out. It's not personal." Not personal. Those words hit harder than a punch. I stood up, shaking, trying to keep my voice steady. "Not personal? Jake, I've done nothing but support you. When you couldn't afford your first car, who helped you? When you dropped out of college for a year, who kept it secret from Mom?" He didn't meet my eyes. Amanda just kept staring at her ring. I felt my throat close up. "You think I'm some kind of embarrassment, don't you?" "Emily, that's not what I said." "It's exactly what you said." I turned and walked out before he could stop me. The door slammed behind me, but the sound didn't feel satisfying. It just echoed in my chest, heavy and empty. That night, I cried harder than I had in years. I didn't tell Mom. She would have tried to smooth things over like she always did, and I couldn't bear to hear her say, "He didn't mean it that way." I stayed up scrolling through travel sites instead. That's when I saw a flight to Hawaii on sale, less than half price, leaving in 2 days. Something inside me snapped. If my own brother thought I didn't deserve to be part of a celebration, then fine. I'd celebrate myself instead. I booked the ticket on impulse, packed a small suitcase, and left a short message for Mom. Going on a short trip. Don't worry. Hawaii was everything I needed it to be. Warm, kind, forgiving. The people smiled at me like I wasn't a burden. The sky didn't judge me. The ocean didn't ask what I was doing with my life. For the first time in years, I felt free. I spent mornings walking along the beach, afternoons learning to surf, and evenings writing in my journal. I wrote about Jake, about how much it hurt to be left out, and about how sometimes kindness doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. But then 3 days into my trip, something strange happened. While I was out on a tour boat watching sea turtles, the captain made an announcement. Hey folks, looks like there's a wedding shoot happening on the next island. Lots of drones in the air. Maybe someone famous. Everyone laughed and craned their necks to look. I didn't think much of it until later that night when I posted a selfie with a caption. Finding peace, where I'm celebrated, not tolerated hibiscus palm tree, #Hawaii vibes. That's when the notifications started rolling in. At first, a few likes, then dozens, then hundreds, and then comments. Wait, is this about Jake and Amanda? Girl, did you really just leave during the engagement party? You're trending right now, Emily. Everyone's talking about your post. My chest went cold. I checked my messages, there they were.
Jake.
Amanda.
Mom.
All calling. Over and over. Then I saw it, the text that made my stomach drop. Emily, what did you do? I froze. I had no idea what they meant, but somehow my escape to Hawaii had turned into something way bigger than I ever expected. And as the phone kept vibrating in my hand, I knew, whatever had happened, there was no going back.
My phone buzzed again.
Then again. Then again. It felt like it wouldn't stop, a tiny, angry machine vibrating against my palm, screaming for my attention. The last rays of the Maui sunset lit the sky orange and pink, but all I could see was that glowing screen. The calls were piling up so fast, I couldn't even swipe to answer before another one came through. Then a new text popped up from Mom. Emily, what on earth did you post? Your brother is furious. Call me right now. My hands started shaking. My post? The selfie? It was just a picture of me smiling on a beach. No names. No drama. I didn't even mention Jake or his fiancée. I unlocked my phone and opened Instagram. That's when I saw it. Over 15,000 likes. Hundreds of comments. And somehow someone had connected the dots. A gossip page had reposted my photo with a caption. Local woman snubbed from her brother's engagement party goes viral after treating herself to Hawaii instead nail polish #family drama.
Oh, my God.
I scrolled through the comments, heart racing. People were choosing sides. Good for her. If they don't invite you, live your best life. Bet the brother's regretting that decision now. Anyone got pics from the party?
Eyes.
The internet had turned my pain into popcorn entertainment. Then another notification. A DM from Amanda. I hesitated, then opened it. Amanda. Emily, did you seriously do this for attention? Everyone at the party saw the post. Jake's humiliated. I blinked. Everyone at the party? I checked the time. It was 7:42 p.m. in Hawaii. That meant it was almost 1 a.m. back home. The engagement party must have ended hours ago. So, how did this blow up after? My mind was spinning. I started typing back. Amanda, I didn't post it for attention. I didn't even mention you guys.
What's going on?
Before I could hit send, another message appeared. Amanda, the photo of us on the cake table. Who sent that to you? I frowned. Cake table? I had no idea what she meant. So, I scrolled back through my notifications. That's when I noticed it, tagged photos.
Dozens of them.
Someone had taken pictures from inside the engagement party, and for some reason, I was tagged in several of them. One photo stopped me cold. It was a close-up of the engagement cake. White frosting, gold lettering, with a framed photo next to it. A photo of me and Jake as kids. Someone had scrawled across it in black marker. Out of the picture. The caption read, "Guess she took the hint grimacing face, #family tea." And in the background, I saw Jake laughing with a group of guests, right beside that photo. That's when the truth hit me like a tidal wave. Someone had mocked me, publicly, at the party. Someone had taken that photo of me and Jake, turned it into a cruel joke, and everyone had seen it. And now, because I'd posted my Hawaii picture, people thought I'd expose the whole thing out of spite. My throat tightened, hot tears stinging my eyes. I wasn't the villain, but to everyone online, I suddenly was. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of waves and the sound of chaos. My post had hit 1.2 million views overnight. A TikTok user had made a slideshow comparing my beach photos to the engagement decorations, claiming I'd clapped back at my brother in style. Someone even made a hashtag. #sister in Hawaii. I couldn't breathe. When I walked down to the hotel lobby, the concierge actually smiled at me. "Miss Cooper, I saw your video trending. You're quite the celebrity." I wanted to disappear into the floor. At breakfast, two young women at the next table whispered, glancing at me. I caught one of them muttering, "That's her. The Hawaii sister." My phone buzzed again, this time with a call from an unknown number. I answered, half dreading who it might be. "Hello. Emily, it's Mom." Her voice was sharp, tired, and heavy. "Mom, I can explain." "No," she said, cutting me off. "You need to come home. This has gone too far." "I didn't do anything wrong," I said, trying to keep my voice from breaking. "They embarrassed me, Mom. They literally put my childhood photo on a table like I was some kind of joke."
She sighed.
"Jake didn't know about that. Amanda's cousin thought it was funny. But now everyone's blaming you because of that post." I closed my eyes. The tears came again uninvited. So I'm the bad guy. Again. "Emily," Mom said softly now. "Just come home. Please." I hung up without answering. For a long time, I just sat there, staring out at the ocean.
The calm waves mocked me.
The same ocean that had felt peaceful yesterday now looked endless and cold. I wanted to scream. Why did kindness always make you the target? Why did being quiet, walking away, make people think they could trample over you? Maybe it was time to stop being quiet. That evening, I posted again. This time, no selfies. Just a photo of the ocean, soft and gold under the sunset. The caption read, "When you're treated like a joke, you learn to laugh last." It wasn't meant to be a threat. It was just how I felt.
But the internet didn't take it that way.
Within hours, the comments exploded again. "She's plotting something, eyes. Oh, this is about to get messy. Sis in Hawaii's not done yet," loudly crying face fire. And then, Jake called. Not a text. Not a voicemail. A call. I almost didn't answer. But curiosity got the better of me. "Jake." "Emily, what the hell are you doing?" His voice was low, tight, like he was holding back a scream. "I'm trying to live my life," I said quietly. "You've embarrassed me in front of everyone. Do you even realize what people are saying about me and Amanda now? That we bullied you out of the party." I let out a bitter laugh. "You did." "That's not what happened," he snapped. And now the video's everywhere. The picture of the cake, the stupid photo of us when we were kids. You made me look like some heartless monster. "Jake, I didn't post that photo," I said through clenched teeth. "Maybe instead of worrying about your reputation, you should ask why your guests thought it was funny to humiliate your sister." He went silent for a few seconds. Then he said something that burned like fire. "You didn't deserve to be there, Emily. You never did. And now you've proven why." The line went dead. I just sat there, frozen, the phone pressed to my ear. Something inside me cracked. Not just anger, but something colder, deeper. If Jake thought I didn't deserve his party, maybe it was time to show him exactly what I did deserve. Maybe I didn't have to keep being the quiet, forgiving sister. Maybe this time, he'd learn what it feels like to be humiliated. And that's when the idea came. A small, dangerous spark at first, but one that would change everything. I turned off my phone, stared out at the waves, and whispered to myself, "Let's see how it feels when the world laughs at you, Jake." The next morning, I woke up with the sound of waves outside my window, but this time, they didn't call me. They dared me. For the first time in years, I wasn't just sad or hurt, I was angry. Angry in a way that burned slow, deep, and quiet. Jake's voice from the night before echoed in my mind. "You didn't deserve to be there." He'd said it like a judge delivering a final sentence. And I realized then, all my life, I'd been begging for a kind of love that came with conditions. Be quiet, be polite, be small. Don't cause problems. Don't embarrass anyone. But what had that gotten me? A photo of me defaced at my own brother's party. A trending hashtag mocking my name. And a family pretending I was the problem. I wasn't going to beg for a seat at their table anymore. If Jake wanted a show, I'd give him one, but this time, I'd write the script. I spent that morning pacing around my villa, the ocean breeze whipping through the open balcony doors. I pulled out my phone, scrolling through all the tags, comments, and videos about me. There were thousands now. Some people called me brave. Others called me petty. A few even said I'd done it on purpose, to steal the spotlight. Then one comment caught my eye. Honestly, I'd pay to hear her side. Someone tell this girl to start a vlog or something. I stopped scrolling. A vlog. It sounded ridiculous at first. I wasn't an influencer. I barely posted selfies before all this.
But then I thought about it.
Everyone already thought I was trying to get attention. So, why not use that attention for something better? Not to attack Jake, not directly, but to tell my story. To show what it feels like to be excluded, to be made small, and still find your peace. Maybe I could take my pain and make it matter. So that afternoon I walked down to the beach with my phone, set it on a little tripod I borrowed from the hotel, and hit record. The waves rolled softly behind me as I spoke. Hi, I said quietly. Most of you don't know me. I'm Emily. And yes, I'm that sister. The one from the Hawaii Post. I smiled a little, though my hands were trembling. I didn't plan to go viral. I came here because my brother told me I didn't deserve to be at his engagement party. And that hurt. But sometimes, when life pushes you out of one space, it's because it's time to build your own. I paused, glancing out at the water. So if you've ever felt unwanted or unseen, this is for you. You deserve peace. You deserve to celebrate yourself, even if no one else does. Then I ended with a soft smile. Aloha from Maui. When I rewatched it, I almost deleted it. My voice cracked a little. My eyes looked too red. It felt too vulnerable. But then, I thought of Jake's words again. You didn't deserve to be there. I hit post. By evening, the video had over 200,000 views. The comments section was flooded with people telling their own stories, siblings who'd betrayed them, parents who'd chosen favorites, friends who'd been shut out. You're not alone, girl. This hit deep. Family can hurt worse than enemies. The way she stayed classy, I stan. It was surreal. For the first time, people weren't laughing at me. They were standing with me. But not everyone was happy. That night, my inbox lit up again, not with fan messages, but with rage. Jake. Unbelievable. Now you're using this for attention. Jake. You're embarrassing the family, Emily. Jake. You're ruining my life. I didn't reply. He'd said enough already. Instead, I called Mom. She answered on the second ring. Emily, honey, what are you doing? Speaking up, I said softly. Something I should have done years ago. Mom sighed. You're making it worse. Jake's getting calls from his boss. Amanda's crying. People are saying she bullied you. I never said her name. I reminded her. I just told the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts people, Mom said quietly. Then maybe they should have been kinder. I whispered back. She didn't answer that. The next day, something unexpected happened. An online magazine reached out. They wanted to feature me in an article about self-love and family boundaries. I laughed when I read the message. Me? In a magazine? But I agreed. I thought maybe, just maybe, it could turn something painful into something good. The article went live 2 days later with the title. She wasn't invited to her brother's engagement, so she took herself to Hawaii. It was kind, respectful, no drama. But Jake saw it differently. He called me again that night. What is wrong with you? He barked. You're everywhere now. People at work are whispering about me. Amanda's parents are furious. Jake, I didn't ask to be trending, I said calmly. All I did was go on vacation. You're lying, he spat. You knew what you were doing. You've always been jealous. You couldn't stand that I finally have something good. Something inside me snapped. Jealous? I said, my voice rising. You think I'm jealous of someone who treats their family like dirt? I'm grateful not to be part of your picture-perfect circus. He went silent for a long moment. Then he said, voice dripping with anger, you'll regret this, Emily. The line clicked. I stared at my phone, heart pounding.
Regret?
I wasn't sure what he meant, but the tone in his voice wasn't just angry. It was threatening. The following morning, I woke up to a notification from my bank. 2 transactions flagged for review. Both connected to a shared account Dad had left us years ago, an inheritance we were supposed to split evenly. Only now, the balance was nearly empty. And Jake's name was the one who'd made the withdrawals. My blood ran cold. I grabbed my phone and tried calling him. Straight to voicemail. Jake, I swear if you touch that money. I stopped, trembling. You have no right. I hung up and stared at the ceiling, fury building in my chest. So this was it. He wasn't just trying to silence me, he was trying to punish me. For speaking up. For walking away. For daring to exist outside his control.
Fine.
If Jake wanted to play dirty, then I'd show him what happens when you underestimate the quiet sister. That afternoon, I opened my laptop. I wasn't going to post another emotional video.
Not this time.
Instead, I started writing an open letter. Not to Jake. Not to Amanda. But to everyone who'd ever been told they didn't deserve to be part of something special. It began. Sometimes the people closest to you forget that love is not a prize to be earned. It's something you give, or it's not love at all. I poured everything into it. Every moment, every memory, every ounce of pain I'd swallowed since Dad died. And when I hit publish, it didn't just trend. It exploded. Millions of shares. Thousands of stitches. People called it the letter that broke the internet. And while strangers were celebrating me, my phone buzzed one last time that night. This time it wasn't Jake. It was Amanda. Emily, her message said. I think you should know.
Jake's planning something.
Please be careful. My stomach dropped. What did that mean? I stared at the screen, heart pounding. Then, a few seconds later, another message appeared, but before I could read it, my phone suddenly went black. The screen froze, then flickered. And just like that, it blew up. Sparks, heat, smoke, a quick flash, and the smell of burnt plastic filled the room. I jumped back, terrified, watching as the phone screen cracked and died right in front of me. I didn't know whether to scream or laugh. Because somehow, I knew this wasn't just an accident. The spark was so sudden that, for a second, I didn't even move. Just a sharp pop, a flash of orange light, and then the smell of burning metal filled the air. I jumped back, knocking over the glass of pineapple juice on the bedside table. The liquid splashed across the sheets as smoke curled from my phone like a dying candle. My heart pounded so hard it hurt. I just stood there, staring at the smoking mess of plastic and glass on the floor. Then, slowly, the fear crept in. Phones don't just blow up. Not without a reason. I covered my mouth with my hand, trying to think. The last message, Amanda's warning, had barely come through before it happened. I hadn't even read the second one. What had she said? Jake's planning something. Please be careful. And then, boom. A coincidence? Maybe. But deep down, something in my gut told me it wasn't. I unplugged the charger and opened all the windows, trying to let the smoke out. The warm Hawaiian air rushed in, but I still felt cold. It wasn't just about the phone. It was everything. Jake's anger, the inheritance money, the threats, the message from Amanda. My head was spinning. For a moment, I thought about calling the hotel front desk or the police. But with what? My phone was dead, and the Wi-Fi password was saved on it. My laptop had no signal without it. I was completely cut off. I sank onto the bed, hands trembling. This can't be happening, I whispered. But it was. For the first time since coming to Hawaii, I wasn't just angry or sad. I was afraid. A knock at the door made me jump. I froze, my breath catching. It came again, Louder this time. Miss Cooper? You all right in there? It was the voice of Kanoa, the hotel manager, kind, middle-aged, with a calm smile that reminded me of the ocean. I hurried to open the door. Yes, I think my phone just caught fire. He frowned. Caught fire? Yeah, I said, pointing to the blackened spot on the floor. It just exploded. I was texting, and then Kanoa stepped inside, bending down to look.
Whoa.
That's serious. We'll file a report for you. It might be a battery fault. I nodded numbly.
Yeah.
A battery fault. But deep down, I didn't believe that. Not for a second. Kanoa offered to get me a replacement phone from the hotel's guest service center, at least for temporary use. I thanked him, trying to hide how shaken I was. When he left, I sat back on the bed, staring at the burnt remains of my old phone. Something was wrong. Very wrong. And the worst part was, I didn't even know if Amanda's message was still recoverable. An hour later, I was sitting in the hotel cafe, clutching a rental phone that felt like a lifeline. I reinstalled my accounts, logged into my email, and opened Instagram. That's when I saw it, a flood of messages from strangers. Are you okay? Your account just went dark. People are saying you deleted everything. Someone's pretending to be you on TikTok. My heart sank. Someone had hacked my accounts. I checked, and sure enough, all my posts, including the open letter, were gone. In their place, a new post had been pinned to the top of my feed. It was a screenshot of my old Hawaii selfie, the one that started everything. But this time, the caption said, "Maybe I overreacted. Family always comes first, red heart." I stared at it, horrified. I hadn't written that. I scrolled down. All my videos were replaced with strange apology clips. One had a robotic voice saying, "I was wrong about my brother. I'm sorry, Jake." It felt like a nightmare. I checked my Twitter, same thing. My Facebook, gone. My YouTube, hacked. Every account I had rewritten. And then another notification popped up. An email. From an address I didn't recognize. Subject: You should have stayed quiet. The message said only one thing. Now it's our turn. My hands were shaking so badly, I almost dropped the phone. It had to be Jake. Or someone helping him. But could he really go that far? I didn't want to believe it. But the timing was too perfect. The inheritance money, the threats, Amanda's warning, it all lined up. My mind raced. If Jake wanted to ruin me, he was doing a good job. My reputation, my story, my voice, all of it was being erased, replaced with lies that made me look fake, unstable, attention-hungry. And the world was believing it. For the next 2 days, I stayed inside. No beach walks. No sunbathing. No smiles. Just endless phone calls to try and regain control of my accounts. The online magazine that had featured me took the article down for safety reasons. A few followers messaged me, saying they'd seen comments claiming I'd made the whole story up. Someone was spreading rumors that I had sold the viral story to tabloids for money. Others said I'd been caught faking the entire family drama for views. It was spreading fast, faster than the original story ever had. And the worst part? Jake's social media was clean. His photos were polished, professional, filled with comments like, "So proud of you, bro. Ignore the haters. Family first, always red heart." It was like he was the victim now. On the third night, I got another message from Amanda. This time, it wasn't a DM. It was a video sent to my email. I hesitated before pressing play. The clip was shaky, recorded from a phone. Amanda was in what looked like a car, her face pale, eyes wide. "Emily," she whispered, looking over her shoulder. "You need to be careful. Jake's not the same. He's furious, and he's saying things that scare me." The video cut off mid-sentence. No sound. No ending. Just static. I tried to replay it, but it stopped at the same point every time. I sat there for a long time, staring at the frozen image of her frightened face. Then I whispered to myself, "Okay, Jake. If it's a war you want." I closed my laptop slowly. It's a war you'll get. The next morning, I made a decision. I wasn't going to run anymore. I wasn't going to hide behind ocean sunsets or soft captions. I was going home. If Jake wanted to play dirty, he'd have to look me in the eyes this time. I booked the next flight out of Maui. As the plane took off, the island faded beneath me, beautiful, calm, and golden in the morning sun. It felt like leaving peace behind. But peace wasn't what I needed anymore. I needed answers. I needed my brother to face what he'd done. And deep inside, I knew one thing for sure. Whatever Jake was planning wasn't over yet. When the plane touched down back home, my stomach twisted like it knew something was waiting for me. I hadn't been gone long, just over 2 weeks, but it felt like years. The world had shifted in that short time, and so had I. As I stepped into the terminal, the familiar chill of home air hit my face. Gray sky,
Cold wind.
the smell of coffee and concrete. Hawaii had felt like a dream. This was reality, and it didn't take long for reality to greet me. A woman about my age walked past, her phone in hand, whispering, "That's her." I didn't even flinch anymore. The Hawaii sister was still trending. Even though my accounts were half restored now, most of what people believed wasn't from me. It was from whoever had hacked and rewritten my life. But I wasn't going to hide. Not anymore. I grabbed my luggage, called a cab, and gave the driver an address I hadn't said out loud in months. My brother's house. When I arrived, the place looked exactly the same as before. The spotless white porch, the perfect lawn, the gold numbers glinting in the light. But it felt different now. Colder. The curtains were closed. No sound from inside. I walked up and rang the doorbell. My heart was hammering. No answer. I rang again.
Still nothing.
Just as I was about to turn away, the door creaked open. Amanda stood there. Her hair was messy, her eyes red. She looked nothing like the glossy fiancé I'd last seen. When she saw me, she froze. "Emily." "Hi," I said softly. "Can I come in?" She hesitated for a long moment, then nodded.
Yeah.
"He's not here." That surprised me. "Where is he?" "I don't know," she whispered. "He left 3 days ago. Said he needed to fix things. I haven't heard from him since." Inside, the house looked like a storm had passed through. Papers scattered. Dishes in the sink. Photos taken off the wall. I glanced at the coffee table and froze. There were printouts of my emails, screenshots of my posts, even drafts of fake captions, the same ones that had been posted to my hacked accounts. All of it was here. I turned to Amanda slowly. "You knew about this?" Tears filled her eyes.
No.
"I swear I didn't. He did it when I was at work.
He was obsessed, Emily.
He said you ruined his image. He wanted to destroy yours before you could tell your side." My heart ached, but not from surprise. Deep down, I'd known. He took Dad's inheritance too, didn't he? Amanda nodded weakly. "Every cent said you didn't deserve it because you abandoned the family." I sank onto the couch, trying to steady my breath. It was all true then. The hacking, the lies, the money, the threats. Jake had planned everything. But now he was gone. Amanda sat across from me, twisting a tissue in her hands. "I wanted to warn you sooner," she said. "But when he found out I messaged you, he went crazy. That's why your phone." She trailed off. My stomach turned cold. "What about my phone?" She looked at me with terrified eyes. "He told someone to teach you a lesson. I think he tampered with it." My blood ran cold. All this time, I'd wondered if the explosion was an accident. It wasn't. It was a warning. We sat there in silence, the truth sitting heavy between us. Finally, I stood. "I need to go to the police." Amanda nodded. "I already did. They're looking for him. There's a warrant out for the theft." "But, Emily." She hesitated, then whispered, "He's not well. He's been unraveling since your dad passed. He resented how close you two were. He thought Dad left you more love than him." I swallowed hard. The anger I'd been clinging to for weeks flickered, just a little, into something else. Something closer to pity. "I never wanted this," I said quietly. "I just wanted him to see me, to be kind again." Amanda's voice broke. "He can't see anyone right now. He's lost in his own story." I nodded slowly. Maybe she was right. 3 days later, the police found him. He'd been staying in a motel, 2 towns away. When they brought him in, they said he looked exhausted, confused, and still muttering about fixing the narrative. He didn't even fight back. When I saw him at the hearing, he looked smaller than I remembered. His eyes were hollow. He didn't speak to me, and I didn't speak to him. There were no apologies, no shouting. Just silence. But somehow, that silence said everything. In the weeks that followed, things slowly started to settle. My accounts were restored. The truth came out online, screenshots, police statements, the whole story. The same people who once called me a liar were now writing apologies in my DMs. But I didn't post another video.
I didn't need to.
Instead, I turned everything that had happened into something new. I launched a small online series about digital truth and forgiveness, helping others who'd been silenced or defamed. And the name of the series? Deserve to Be Here. It wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about reclaiming your place when the world tells you don't have one. Because I'd learned something in all of this. Revenge might make the noise stop for a moment, but forgiveness, that's what sets you free. A month later, I was back in Hawaii. Same beach. Same waves. Same golden sunset. I sat there, watching the water shimmer and break, the sound soft and endless. For the first time, my heart felt light. I took a deep breath, whispered into the wind, "I forgive you, Jake." And as the waves rolled in, it almost sounded like the ocean whispered back, "Finally."